Welcome. This is mine and Greg's podcast that we're going to experience together. Got no clue what the hell we're doing, but it's going to be fun. So we've been thinking about this for some time now, and I don't really know why, but...
No, he brought this up like a month ago, and it's like, why not? Right? Who's going to stop us?
There's nothing else to do, so...
There really isn't.
Might as well do something weird, different,
that
a lot of people are doing anyways. But...
Yeah, and I've got way too many novelty toys to not find an excuse to bring them over here. And, this is my fuck you shrub. There's a story behind that, too. Maybe we'll get to it. But we've got a hat full of ideas here that we're going to try and get to and see where the conversation takes us. Because whenever I bring this up to people, they're like, what's it about? And I don't know. We don't have an agenda here. We're just making this up as we go along. I don't want there to be some narrative about what it's about. So let's figure it out as we go, eh?
Yes, and also there's a lot of interesting people that we know, and we want to get them involved as well. So
absolutely.
Just trying to start a conversation with a bunch of different thoughts and see what happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna crack a beer.
Let's do it.
And we're thinking of names too, so one night I was drunk, thinking of ideas, and I said, Greg, what about Popcorn Podcast? And he's like, I don't know about that. And I was like, come on, man, it's catchy, Popcorn Podcast. And so we don't know what to do for our first one, so we put a bunch of ideas in a hat, and it kind of goes along with Popcorn Podcast.
It kind of does, too. We really should have made popcorn before we did this. Oh my god, we should probably...
I've got some, too. Should have thought about that.
Alright, well, maybe an intermission. We definitely need some popcorn.
That was a terrible pour. Craig's going to be upset about that pour for sure. Mad Hatter. Shout out to New Holland. They're pretty sweet.
No, they are. These are good beers.
Terrible pour.
Don't be too ashamed. It's alright.
So what's the story with the shrub?
The shrub?
You've told me before.
Yeah. Well, I'm in like a sea of foam right now.
Yeah, dude.
So the shrub was cloned from a shrub that a guest at a hotel I worked at gave the hotel. Because they were so thrilled about their stay, they brought a plant up the next time and were like, here you go, happy IVing. So I worked at this hotel, and every day I moved it from the side table. It was next to like a lamp and a tablet. And I just put it on the windowsill so it got some light. And every day my coworkers were like, Greg, could you just not like leave the plant where it's supposed to be, please? And I was like, yeah, sorry. And then I just went and did it anyway because...
So you're upset because it basically didn't have any light.
I feel this plant screaming out in like...
I'm fucking dying
mental,
over here.
Psychic space. Like, please, like, bro, just give me a ray of light. Please, I'm begging you. And I'm just Mr. Valet trying to make the whole hotel happy, including the plant. And then COVID ended the world and I got laid off. So I just took a cutting of it and I wrapped it in a wet paper towel that I like scotch taped together and drove from Vermont back here and planted it, and here it is. Like
without that
7 months later.
Yeah. Without the movement of Greg putting it in the light, you think that plant's still alive?
Dude, I really wondered, honestly, because they shut the whole hotel down, and it's really concerning that no one probably took the plant home.
They shut the hotel down? I mean, like, around here, I feel like hotels were still open. People are... I mean, you gotta think of people like, I don't know, businesses and stuff like that, like corporations. Like, you'd think that there's still a use for a hotel. Maybe not, like, the smaller ones, but, like...
Well, I mean, there were people probably traveling who could have used it for some reason.
It just wasn't worth it.
It was, like... Yeah, the overhead of just keeping the building on and running, you know, kind of reached the point where they weren't bringing in enough money to justify.
I don't know like one city in Vermont other than like the place that Bernie Sanders would be from, but I still don't even know the name of that place.
Right.
So like, how busy was this hotel? Like, what were the typical people like?
It was all New Englanders vacationing, like from Manhattan, Connecticut, Rhode Island, like a lot of people.
Right, because Vermont's a little bit more up north, like in that little sliver of area.
Yeah, no, Vermont is like the up north equivalent of like people in like
Coming
the
from,
New
like, the
England
city.
bubble, like
Yeah.
all like Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Boston, like a lot of those people go up north to vacation in like Vermont or New Hampshire, or if not farther. So, yeah, it was mostly like that clientele and like ski crowds and some business travelers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's interesting too, is just how vastly different the Americas are.
Mhm.
Like, you can be in a desert, even in Michigan. Like the first time I went to like the Sleeping Bear Dunes, I was like, I feel like I'm in Red Dead Redemption right now. Like, this is crazy. I'd never been there before, and we went like last year for my cousin's wedding, and it was crazy. Like, it's a completely different landscape compared to like living in Pinckney or Ann Arbor.
Yeah. And I mean that's
just a small little section of like America. You know what I mean?
Right.
Imagine what it's like in like Phoenix, and you've traveled a lot. You know way more about the landscape than I do.
Well, it's amazing that there's so much in one country, but then it's like it's Canada, America, and Mexico for a whole continent, where like Europe is like hundreds of little countries.
So what do you think?
Well, it's because like we're so diverse in landscape as Americans, and then what we do for a living, and then who we are as people, and that's why it's like it's a beautiful experiment, but like we're destined to never really get along, because people just don't want to run shit the same way, depending on where they are, and like that is as it should be. You know? So we're destined for this divide because it's everywhere, and like America's so different.
I mean, I've kind of like had this thought in my head for like a long ass time, Like, are we, what is it, what the hell is our saying that we have as a country, like, united together, or divided we fall? What is that saying? I forget. But, like, either way, what
united we stand.
Yeah, exactly. So, like
that.
All right, like, would the United States be better as, like, individually ran? And that's basically what it is in terms of, like, governments, of, like, but, like, actually have your own thing and like not have one country and instead it'd be like the state of the country of Michigan or the country of because that's what it's like in Europe, you know what I mean? You kind of said that. I mean, that'll never happen, but like would it be better in terms of like all the politics?
I mean, I think
right
it
now
could happen though, is the thing. Like
that's what's kind of scary. Like I mean, I know we said we weren't going to talk about like this whole thing.
Yeah, dude, that was the thing of it. We should just start with the hat.
Yeah.
So we had a whole conversation, like, could we just not talk about politics and COVID because all you listen to anymore
it's exhausting.
And it's just too much, and it's important, but, like, I don't know what the hell I would even say, and none of it's probably worth listening to. So, yeah. So, do you have a tangent off of that, or do you want to start drawing topics?
Let's just go.
Okay, let's do it, yeah. Do you want to flip for who does it first?
Oh, you can go first.
Okay.
I feel like I'm just not even mixing
We got the Andrew Yang math hat here. All right, first round. Nothing, dude. Are you kidding me? What, are you putting scraps of paper in here, bro?
Dang, dude. Try again.
Right, no, this is your turn. No, I tried. This is on you, bro.
Let's see what this one says. Okay. So, what are your thoughts on nature versus nurture?
Okay. For like raising children?
So when I created this one, I was thinking of just like in general of like when someone gets older and they have their own like we're in our mid 20s now, right? And so we're pretty set in stone in terms of like who we are, and different people are raised different ways, and different people come from different things. But like that same situation, is it nature versus nurture that creates someone? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's basically where I was going towards.
Yeah, I mean, from like a personal standpoint, I think it's been a lot more like nature of just like becoming a bigger version of who I already am, more so every year, like from childhood up to now.
Right.
I think with like population, the human population at large, it's like a mix. It's too hard to say because everyone's relationship with their who they are on like, I mean, this is really getting into it, but like if you believe in like the idea of an eternal like soul and reincarnation, and that's like constantly being molded in every lifetime, like you're just like this isn't even coming from me. I heard this on another podcast somewhere, but like somebody referred to like raising their child as like watching a negative photograph like develop.
Oh man,
You know, like
that's
it's
interesting.
already there on the picture, but it's you can't see all of it yet. It's got to like slowly develop and come through.
So let me ask you
That's
that.
kind of what I think on a real level.
With what you said though, like I don't have a kid. You don't have a kid. Do you same concept but in reverse? Like, do you see a lot of like your parents and yourself?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, not even just like looks, because I look exactly like my dad, but like habits or like just little things, nuances, or whatever it may be, like personality traits.
Yeah, no. Of course.
I mean, of course, like it's your genes and stuff like that. But going into like nature versus nurture, like someone's upbringing can be not in a good space or whatever it may be. And I don't know where I'm going with that. I was just thinking of ideas like what are the deep thoughts of like nature versus nurture.
Right. That's my thought on it, dude. I think like a lot of this is we're already like complete beings, if like from day one. Like you're just born, you're a baby, like you've still got so much history in what your soul has done and been through, where it's like there's a lot of momentum in what your intention might be, to where it's not just like you're just born and absorb everything your parents feed you, and that's like I don't know, people aren't that easily molded. There's something within you that like knows what your priorities are regardless of what you're born into and around, you know.
So then like in terms of like being predestined towards something, like having like in terms of like, let's say, how do I explain this? Like we have a soul, right? And so like how the hell can I explain this in a way that it makes sense and it wouldn't be stupid? Like, do you think when you're born, you're just born and like you have like it's just a wash and then there's nothing, or do you think that like when you're born, your soul? Because I believe in reincarnation, like that's something that I believe in. Do you think as you're going through that stage of like death and then into the next life that you're recapping like what just happened in the last moment and you're looking towards the future, kind of like what we do already in this plane, but it's so slowed down, even though sometimes it seems like it's super quick. When you're in that space in between, and not everyone's going to believe this, but this is just my thoughts. Do you set goals in terms of like lessons that like in the next scenario, next moment, these are the things that I'm going to learn, and these are the obstacles I'm going to have to overcome? This is bringing back like nature versus nurture, kind of.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea, actually.
Because
like if there's something you're struggling with in one lifetime that you then incarnate into a situation that's gonna, the circumstances will lead you to face this problem. That's
exactly
the same energy coming over.
Exactly, yeah. So like you can either like overcome that obstacle, and it happens all the time in like this life frame, but like in terms of like a universal like outlook on like just top down, like if reincarnation is a thing, who's to say we're not going to face the same things over and over? And we do it already. Like there's certain scenarios that we already go over and have to overcome in this lifetime. But yeah, I just find it really interesting. Like it kind of, I lost my train of thought on because he said something.
I got something. So I think the idea of like what we're getting out of this train of thought, like you go into a lifetime to learn a lesson about this or that, it's maybe there's something to it, but then that leads you to ask like what lessons are being learned and why, and then like, so is there a right way to live because you need to learn this list of lessons from God, and then eventually do you reach a point where you've learned them all and you actually become enlightened? Because I think to truly believe in reincarnation and things being like a continuum from one lifetime to a next. You're still like working on the same things on a soul level until you can progress. It seems like there has to be like an end point where like you've learned the lessons, or is it just infinite? I don't know. Well, is there some finish line where you were just
that's a really
actually enlightened and then you don't have to incarnate and you like break the karmic cycle?
So here's my thoughts on that. Like right now, like our being, we are like at this point like the top dog. That's obviously why we have cities and all this stuff, and all the other animals just live in the wild. And sometimes it's like we're living in the wild, like straight up. But in terms of like keeping on progressing, like anytime you progress, you're just gonna have another problem that comes up. It's just a different problem that you already, like the previous problem, you already like figured it out. But like once you go to the next one, there's always gonna be like a next thing. For example, like on 11/11/11, I've told you this story before. I met this guy, and first of all, like. I shouldn't say first of all, but my thoughts on enlightenment is like it's like working out. You know what I mean? Like, and not that I'm woke or whatever. Like I hate those terms.
You're plenty woke.
But like those, I don't know. That's just like a label or whatever you put on things. But it's like working out. Like if you don't work out those muscles, if you're not always in tune, then like you're gonna not be in tune. But so this gentleman that I met when I was about 15, he was telling me about his experience in a past life, and you asked like, what's always like the next? What's the point of like? So he was saying like in a past life that he had, like his whole purpose was to make sure he was. And this is gonna sound very weird to a lot of people, but his whole purpose of life was to make sure that other planets and stars did not collide in this galaxy that he resided in. Yeah. So he's basically like, what's the word? Like a conscious being, basically overseeing. He might have been a planet, let's say.
Well, if anything, he would be a star.
He could have been a star
with the gravity of planets. Around him.
He was a star basically, and. He's making sure everything's straight. A bunch of time had passed. Seems just like our time frame, but maybe it's a different like time frame. You know what I mean? How quick? Right. How do we like judge how quick like time is if we're like only in this spot? When you're doing something really fun, time goes by quick, and then you look back on it and you're like, damn, that went by real quick. But if you're going through something really bad, it seems like it's fucking stretching on. So we can't really judge time and like what that means, but. He got distracted, right? He got distracted because something was going on over here, and he focused his consciousness over to the right, and then he looked back, and a bunch of planets had smashed. And that's a lot of like energy that he said he's holding on to, even though it could have. Who's to know if that's real? Who's to know if it's not? But again, who's to say that it's not
fascinating?
Because like, it's all energy. But yeah, nature versus nurture. You can have the next one.
Right, cool. No, it's an interesting story. You've told me that before, but like I started recognizing it like 10 seconds in. I was like, wait, no, I know. The Planet Smasher. It's fascinating, man. Do you still know him? Have you talked to him since then?
Yeah, he's on my Facebook. He's all about that life, you know what I mean? Okay. The life of like just being holistic, I guess you could say. And I just find it really weird because like, you know, the people that are into that type of stuff, they always talk about like being woke. Well, that day was like when I first like woke up and realized like, whoa, life isn't like just this routine. Like there's a lot of like, I can have control over certain things that I thought I didn't have control over. Not like a psychic type of thing.
Something funny going on with reality over here.
But the day that it was, which I find crazy, super crazy, it was 11/11/11. And so, like, if you're a computer guy, you know that everything works in ones and zeros, and the number one is supposed to be like a trigger. Yeah. So, like, it just, I don't know. Because that whole day I was walking, you know, my cousin Michelle picked me up. I was coming home from school. I'm 15. All I want to do is just go home and do my thing, if you know what I'm saying. And that wasn't how it happened. That's not how my day turned out. We went to that guy's house, and I was just in, like, a heavy state of like just got out of school, let me go do my thing. But like right when I stepped on his property, all that weight just lifted.
Mm.
And
Yeah, he's one of these catalyst kind of people. For you to know. You know, there's something in that conversation you had with him like really resonated with you to the point we're talking about it now, like years and years later.
9 years.
So, yeah.
What's the date? Yeah, 9 years and 9 days.
Yeah.
Shit, look at that. Another
And you know what's funny, actually? We actually met like a month later. You remember that?
Did we really, though?
Yeah, no, because I was thinking of the story of how we met as something we should talk about, and then I'm thinking, maybe we shouldn't tell that story. But no, because we met like a month later, because it was right after Christmas.
Was it?
It was New Year's Eve, dude.
Sophomore year?
Dude, I remember that shit.
Oh, that was a fun New Year's Eve, too.
Dude, because it was...
That was a lot of fun.
It was, I knew Anna up here on the wall, and she knew you.
Yeah.
But yeah, yep. As soon as you got woke on 11/11, we were ready to be friends.
That's... So. I did not know that. I mean, now that I think about it, I guess that's true.
Yes, it's true, dude. All right, here we go. Number 2. It better not be blank. Okay. This was mine. What animal will rule Earth post-humans?
The cockroach, dude.
The cockroach. Well, yeah.
It's good. Well, rule.
It's too easy. Yeah. So, like, what species, if any, will become like dominant and or civilized? Like, if there's anything else.
It's got to. Well, it depends on how the world ends, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So
I mean, like, let's
like
extrapolate a little bit. Like, so all the ice is melted and it's fucking hot as shit. Is it dolphins because now there's more ocean everywhere, or is it like cockroaches because you can't kill them, or like birds? What about birds? Is there not like birds are fucking smart? They already live in colonies. They make nests. They mate for life. Like. So there's something going on, man. I'm not even sure if birds are real. And I saw someone walking around with a hoodie that said birds aren't real. And I was in the middle of Ann Arbor, and I'm like, yes. And they're like, what are you? And I'm just like, never mind. And we just like passed, but.
No, dude, it's just a giant hologram, just like the moon.
Birds or all of it?
All of it.
All of it?
No.
Well, what part of the hologram is gonna rule? Do you think?
Oh shit! You have a good point, man. Like dolphins, there's some sneaky little fuckers. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're suspicious, dude. They're getting high off pufferfish. They're fucking each other because it feels good. It's a little too smart for me to be comfortable with all that.
Dude, it's all right. If we go into nuclear war, it's definitely gonna be a cockroach because they're just the only ones that can survive. There's gonna be a bunch of pickle ricks running around. Bunch of pickle ricks.
Pickle ricks. Let's hope not, dude.
I mean,
as long as they're dill and not bread and butter.
What's up, Jake? What's up?
We got Jake the dog here in the shot. He's staring at you.
He's looking real suspicious. But a monkey, dude, like whatever species.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the real question is like. Mm-hmm. All right, if humans weren't here, what's the most human-like, or like why are we like the most on top of things? Like something must have happened at some point,
right?
But like
that's a whole other rabbit hole, dude. We're looking after the fact, like we're dead and gone.
But like what you said, dolphins are smart as hell too.
And monkeys is like that's an obvious choice because Planet of the Apes has been out for 30 years, but
the original.
I don't know. It's like not as fun though as a theoretical conversation because it's like we're just the monkeys who made it. If you want to look at it like that.
Yeah, I would say dolphin's a good choice.
But then that's like society underwater, and I don't know.
A Sam Squanch. Definitely a Sam Squanch. They've been hiding for way too long. They're waiting.
They're just biding their fucking
waiting.
time.
Yeah, dude, they're waiting.
Northwest,
they already got their little huts and everything in the woods up in Canada.
Yeah,
shit's
probably,
real.
Yeah.
Sasquatch, dude. Be on the lookout.
Oh my God. You think COVID's affecting the Sam Squatch population?
Well, it doesn't affect dogs. Why would it affect a Sasquatch?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying.
Why are we the only ones that get fucked up by it, too? A dog can't get it?
Yeah, why do people put masks on their dogs when they're walking around the city? You ever think about that?
Do they actually do that?
Your dog sniffs another dog's COVID-infested butt, and then your whole family's dead next week.
No, there's actually people that put masks on the dog. Is that a thing?
No, I'm mostly full of shit, but I bet somewhere someone has done that. Because it's just how people are. No doubt, dude.
Yeah, I don't have the answer to that one.
So then, you gotta. What's your vote? Birds, cockroaches, or dolphins?
I don't understand the situation of the Earth at that point in time, so
Just you
like,
gotta cover all the bases, no matter what situation. Who you betting on?
You said monkey.
No, I said
Sand
birds, birds, cockroaches, and dolphins.
Where the birds land if there's water, you know, like then the dolphin definitely wins.
I mean, even if all the ice is gone forever, there's got to be a little bit of land, right?
Mount Everest. That's Party Island. Hopefully Epstein ain't there.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you're right. It would Jeffrey Epstein survives. Yeah. All right. No, the correct answer was hidden option number D, octopus.
Ooh.
Yeah. Obviously, dude.
How's the octopus fucking win? It wasn't even an option.
Yeah, think ahead, bro.
I guess.
Think about the whole coral reef.
It's dying.
Dude, I don't even want to go there. Thinking too much about it.
Alright. Would people a century ago like music today? Would we like the music of 2120? That's a great question. Would people a century ago like music today? I would say it depends on the type of music. Like this EDM stuff, they would probably think their brain's about to explode.
Right.
I listen to it, I'm like, my brain's about to explode.
Yeah. They're like, oh, this is what shell shock feels like.
And no hate on EDM. Like, there's a lot of good stuff out there that, like, if I listen to it enough, I like it. But
no, there truly
someone from like the 1700s hearing that,
their ears would like implode back in their head.
Yeah, dude.
They just really wouldn't react well. I don't think.
But I think they would. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't people?
Maybe they're all about it. I don't know.
I mean,
I've always let's go into some tangent, but I like orchestra music just as much as I'll like progressive trance EDM.
There was a minute in high school where I'd get really high and listen to like orchestra.
Yes, dude.
Dude, it is pretty freaking cool.
Dude, it's fucking like unreal in person. I've seen the Ann Arbor Symphony perform.
DSO.
Back when you could gather with humans in public. And yeah, dude, it's really intense. They'll do the Harry Potter and Star Wars concerts with just like all this highlights on the soundtracks. It's beautiful.
And that's
so what about, do you think we'll like the music of the future though? If Time Traveler brings back some music from 2120?
Man, well, here's the thing, dude.
Rush already made a song about it. Exactly.
Yeah, and
so we like that song. So that's our only piece of evidence.
One of the cool, I haven't been to many plays. Only then like I've been to one play outside of like grade school, right? So like we'd always go to plays and stuff like that, and like whatever. But it was either Queen or Rush, and it was basically about the story of like how music progresses and like it becomes all electronic, which that's straight, but like there's no like instruments.
Yeah.
Like what you said, 2112. Yeah. But they made a play about it, and it was so moving. Like at the end of it, not gonna lie, I had a tear. I was like, damn, this is moving. But if someone brought back some music from like 2120 or whatever, 2112, let's say.
Right.
First of all, like, what would it be like? Are there still like guitars and drums in terms of like that kind of music, or is it all strictly like electronic and you're making stuff on a computer?
Well, that's the question, right? And it seems like since EDM has gotten like so almost like completely dominant with like people our age really going to shows, like that scene is just so big compared to like any other. You would think it's all just gonna like become like more and more synthetics, like beep bop boop kind of music, but then no, I don't think instruments are ever gonna go anywhere. Like the actual like visceral feel of like playing something for a musician has got to be way too good to ever be like, yeah, you know what, just sit me in front of a computer forever and now everyone's a DJ and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't explored too much in like EDM or gone to like a show or anything like that, but like there's definitely like a live music scene in Ann Arbor that's like popping.
Yeah, like, and like that's never gonna die. That's always been a thing since we were like powwowing around the fire.
And so like if you think like 2100 is only we were born in 95, so like
Mhm.
realistically we'll probably die around like 50 to 80, like 2050 to 2080.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
like
Yeah, that
realistically.
sounds about right.
If nothing tragic happens,
Mhm.
knock on wood. But that's only like 2 generations away, right?
Mm.
So like, all right, 2 generations ago would be like my grandma. What did she listen to? That was like
Right.
Frank Sinatra era, or
But
like
the Beatles, timeless.
yeah.
The Who, like the whole.
So here's the thing, like, it's up to like the parents that are like our age to like
Totally,
continue
yeah.
that type of music. And so like, what do you listen to?
Mm.
That is like, are you
Mm.
listening to stuff that's just on the radio? So it's
Right.
there's a lot of different things that go into
And
it.
like how many generations in a family is music taste like affected by? You know, is it just like literally like the parents are playing music at home and that's where
Well,
you pick
what
up
do you
everything?
think? Like, do you think your parents like influenced you a lot on music? Because they definitely did for me.
My dad was way more into just playing music out of the stereo,
Yeah.
like during the day growing up. So by far him. But like, dude, I was such a dumb little idiot as a kid. He would play NPR like 6 hours a day. And there's like 4 minutes of jazz an hour, and I'm like 6 years old thinking like, wow, music kind of sucks. It's just people talking about a bunch of stuff I'm clueless on. Because
Yeah,
I'm a kid, and like then I remember talking to my aunts and uncles. I was like, yeah, music kind of sucks, and they're like, what's wrong with you? Like they're like, something's wrong with little Greggy. This is a problem. And turns out there's more than NPR on the radio, but it's still the only thing I listen to now because
Just wait till you get serious.
yeah, where else am I going to hear about Trump and COVID 24/7, 365? It's great. It really does. This is quite a service as a country. The lava lamp's finally working, dude. This thing's bitching now. Look at it.
It's getting there. It's got
It's
a
all
big,
gooey,
big old
gooey.
think question. But what I was gonna say is that like with music, there's so many different genres and things like that.
Mm.
That like, I guarantee if you brought someone from like the 1800s or something.
Mm.
All right, let's say like our grandparents' age, 3 generations before that, probably like Civil War era,
Mm.
and then you brought them up to like now.
Mm.
There's a lot that they fucking missed
Mm.
in terms of like we're talking about like music.
Mm.
Like there's a lot of things that would happen in that
Right.
basically 200 and some odd year
Mm.
difference. No, that'd be like 100 and some odd,
Mm.
but whatever.
Close up.
But it depends. Like things about music is that it takes time to get accustomed to it,
Mm.
right? Like
Yeah.
I didn't give myself like enough opportunity to like listen to EDM. I did a little bit,
Mm.
and there's like some songs that I like,
Mm.
but like it just doesn't catch my ear.
Mm.
It's like
Yeah.
it's just like tuning a guitar. Like
Right.
the more you tune it into like
Mm.
that little sliver that you're actually
Mm.
listening to, the more
Mm.
you're gonna like it.
Yeah, yeah, and like, there's musicians are so influenced by each other that
Yeah.
like sound will like bounce around a music scene over like a period of time, and then you're right, like it really does change like one note, one song, 1 year at a time. Like everything starts moving in one direction or another over the history of music, from what I know, and that's fucking nothing, by the way. But I don't really know if there are that many moments in history where like a new genre of music it like appears, other than like
Well,
for us like EDM within like the
that's
last,
like the one
30, 40
thing.
years, because it's just the rise of technology. So it's like a new instrument is the thing. So
Where
instruments
do you
are
think
never
that
really
started
gonna go
from?
away.
Like almost like Devo, like being a little more electronic. Like Devo's like from the 80s.
Right.
Like
Dude, I have no idea. I think Detroit was really important with the
well, that's
EDM
when like the
scene
whole
for a long
90
time.
rave scene kind of started.
I don't know exactly who and what happened where within that.
The synthesizer was what
Mm.
really kind of started it.
Right. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right.
Jump.
Yeah.
Van Halen. People thought Eddie Van Halen was crazy
Uh-huh.
for using a synth. Like,
Mm.
I want to see someone shred, and then he's playing a
Mm.
fucking a
Yeah.
synth.
It all sounds great. You ever listen to Daft Punk?
See, not really. I remember one time you came over to my house. It was a fun night. You know what I'm saying? And Chris was there. Chris Gardner was there.
Yeah.
And you were playing
Yeah.
some like electronic music, getting in your own zone.
Mm.
And Chris is like, dude, I need this to turn off. Like, I can't listen to it.
Yeah, that's the thing. People hear my sensual
No, yeah,
vibrations.
no, I see, and that's what
running.
that's what you know. Don't be so closed, and I close myself off to a lot of stuff. Like, just be open to it, and if it
Mm.
thing about like ourselves
Mm.
and I don't know shit, but at least myself, is like, you're going to show me something, and I'm not really going to be interested. And then you're going to show it to me again, and I'm still not going to be interested. It takes like, it's just like marketing, you know what I mean? Like, when you see, like, Bilbo Baggins burgers or something, the first time you see it, you're like, oh, what the fuck? And then, like, the more you see it, the more you hear it, the more you like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like, in that specific thing, you're going to find more, like, value in it because you're noticing different things that you wouldn't notice before because an outside ear or no outside, like, eye is just seeing it at the surface. And it might sound just like all the other stuff, like, to me, EDM, which, if anyone has, like, some different type of EDM, like, I like Odessa, like, that's Odessa is sweet. Like, I like that. That's where I'm getting at. Like, it takes time, it takes more repetition to like find that thing that you like.
Yeah, no, certainly. And like with EDM, I think it blends together more so than other music because regardless of the genre, it's usually like a musician with a band, and there are different people within that band playing different things. So you can tell like if they've got a really exceptional or really bad like drummer or guitarist or something, you can tell like where a strength is within a band, or like if they're emphasizing one kind of sound over another through a specific instrument or combination of them. But then it's EDM, it's all just within a program. And
it's one person. So like here's the struggle.
So there's 1,000 options, but it's not like on different people within a group of musicians making music together. Yeah.
And I'm really not trying to hate on EDM. I'm just like, I just don't understand it. Like, I'm open to it if someone will show me some stuff that's like, this is actually really good.
Right.
I'm going to listen to it. But like I said, it's going to take me multiple times. You're going to have to keep reminding me about it so that I start to enjoy it.
Right.
Like, there's very few things that like I've come into interactions with multiple times that I don't enjoy. That's why I keep going back to it. It's because I enjoy it. So like, if you show me something, but what I'm getting at is what you mentioned with like bands and musicians. If there's a band, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 different like ideas that they're all doing themselves that come together. When it comes to like EDM, it's just one person, and so their ideas can be kind of stuck. And so like when you listen to like, and even with like rappers and stuff like that, you'll notice that like for example, Chris Webby, probably like one of my favorite rappers. It's still like the same thing, but I still find a lot of value in it because he's talking about like different things, but it's still the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, I don't know how to explain it deeper than that, but like he's attacking the same like thought process. The rhyme and rhythm is the same, the sound is the same, but he's just saying things differently. And again, maybe that's what it's like if I'm in tune with EDM.
Right.
But like, as a band, you've got 5 different people contributing different things, so it can end up sounding different. Yeah. I don't know if that is like makes sense or not.
No, I think it does, because like, and then it's even more impressive if you've got a really exceptional DJ who just makes incredible music all on his own, because that's cool too, just to be a standalone artist. But yeah, in a band, everyone's playing an instrument with a different sound.
What I'm getting at though is like, as like a single person trying to make music, like just whether it's EDM, a DJ, or a rapper, it's just themselves. So they're gonna fall into these like ruts, right? These ruts of like, it's harder to break out of those ruts if you don't have someone else there to show you something different. So like, having a full band, I feel like, can create different avenues.
Yeah, you got people to brainstorm with.
I don't know, man. That's just my thoughts on it.
No, good thoughts. Appreciate it. So I'm not sure what the consensus for the question was. I think my vote, we might enjoy music of the future.
I think I will.
I don't think
I think I will. Going back to the question, I think I will enjoy music of the future because you just have to listen to it. And if like I get somehow time traveled into the future and I fucking love music, listening to it, I'm not very good at playing it, but it's gonna take me time to like enjoy the music, unless I hear
Right.
something that I'm like, dang, that reminds me of this.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's certain things that'll remind you. That's what's
Maybe,
sweet
or
about music.
maybe there'll be something completely new. Like there will be a new kind of technology or
like
instrument
dolphins
that's
and monkeys, like.
I don't know. I mean, that'd be interesting. Yeah, we definitely need some monkey hobbles cut up into some music. But all right,
Yeah,
I think
no,
it's your poll for a question.
It is kind of
Before we do
interesting.
it.
Like, what might the future hold with music?
Yeah, I thought you'd like that one.
I did. Thank you. All right. Will people ever live on Mars?
That's another one of mine.
Is this me first or is this you? I guess it's your question towards me. I guess we're questioning each other.
You gotta answer.
Honestly, I'll say no because I think we already live there.
Oh wow, hot take.
Hot
Wait,
take.
we were already there, or we already were? Or both?
I feel like there's a reason why we're here and we don't really know why we're here. Mars and Earth,
It's overflowing, dude. All right, there we go.
we're both in the Goldilocks zone, right?
Right.
Why are we closer to the sun than the other place? And why are we now here and there's like water supposedly on Mars?
Right.
So like,
Some people.
I
think
feel like we
Mars
fucking
had
blew- I
quite
feel like-
an atmosphere, and it kind of just.
not to get
Just
into the whole
ruined
conspiracy thing,
Mhm.
but I think we probably came from Mars and we're a bunch of Martians.
For realsies?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know about that, man. I think
Someone, Elon Tusk hopped in his Martian and came over to
Yeah.
the Americas.
Elon's been here the whole time. He's immortal.
He is,
I
dude.
can
He
see
built
it.
Tesla. Tesla built Tesla.
He is
too.
a Tesla. What if he's Tesla?
Time travel, dude.
Yep.
No, I think yeah, man. There's no way. I mean, the whole idea of like space exploration. Like, hold up, we were talking about Elon or whatever. Didn't Jeff Bezos just start his own little space exploration thing?
I fucking hope not.
I'm pretty sure.
No, what?
I don't know. I heard something about it.
No, we need to keep Amazon on Earth. You know, that's as far as we can.
Belongs in
go.
Brazil, not in America, man.
Yeah. Yes.
Seriously, I really don't fuck with
We
Amazon.
just need to keep Jeff Bezos in the jungle, the Amazonian jungle, and just conduct your business there.
The idea of
Stay
it
out of
is
my
good,
neighborhood.
but like it's actually destroying. All right, we're getting completely off topic, but
I don't want
I can
Amazon on fucking Mars. Is what I'm getting at. It's too much.
Are we talking about the rainforest or the company?
I was talking about I'm not ordering from Amazon when you're living on Mars in the future.
All right, so if we're gonna talk
just
about
keep Jeff contained on planet Earth, that might be a good thing for the universe at large. It's just my hot take on it.
my hot take is like Amazon. All these corporations are the sole destruction of America. Like the average person,
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah, that's why you
it's-
can't let him get interplanetary. Then you're just unleashing the
That's
virus.
what I'm saying. There came
on the
over.
world.
It's like yeah, dude. So going back, I'm not gonna go down that hole, but
I think people will live on Mars. If we came from there, or fucking Timbuktu.
dude, why
We're
not
going-
Venus, the
we're going
planet
back.
of love? Let's go there. I don't think we really
It's kind
can.
of hot,
but
dude. It's a little cloudy there.
hey, just
Whatever.
because this physical form can't handle it, who's to say that there's not like some kind of weird being over there that we don't know about?
Well, so we're fixing to though, because NASA recently, like, announced or published that they've found traces of like some kind of gas in the atmosphere of Venus that was most likely created by a microbe. So, if what we know about this specific gas, which is I don't even know what it is true, then a microbe is the most likely explanation for it being there. But until we go and scoop up some clouds from Venus and test
how do you
it,
scoop up a cloud?
well, that's a really good question, dude. I'm not the fucking guy to answer that.
I thought you're a fucking damn scientist.
Scientist? No. Mm-mm.
A scientist.
No, man. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, man.
Today.
Will we ever live on Mars? I mean, Dude, that's like 500 years from now, in my opinion.
That far?
I mean, man, I've got questions in here that could be applied now in this conversation. I could either say them or not.
Oh,
but we're not gonna
leave them in there for a minute.
But
so yes,
yeah, man,
500 years or so. Okay,
dude, imagine how much like energy it's gonna take to make that happen. We've got problems on Earth that we got to figure out first before we think about doing that shit.
Yeah, but the problems on Earth might be too big to solve, and Mars really is our only hope.
And do you think the average person like me and you literally has control over like if someone is or is not exploring?
Well, I mean, no, but
if they're doing it, they're already doing it.
As long as we convince Elon Musk to kill Jeff Bezos, everything will be fine.
It's just like the Cold War.
Yeah. All right, let me get one of these out.
My answer is no. Not gonna
Sad.
happen. We already came from there, dude.
Yeah, been there, done that, I guess. Is college worth it? Oh gosh.
It's a tough one.
Coming out here with the hard hitters. It depends who you are and what you want to do. Final answer.
There you go. That's fair. So I was thinking, because I didn't go to college, right? And so, like, I feel like there's some things that I missed out on, but also missing out on those things kind of put me ahead at the same time. Tough subject, because a lot of people have, like, the debt issue, which is a whole issue in itself. But, like, just thinking, like, man, there's probably a lot of experiences that I missed out on and a lot of really cool people that I missed out on meeting that I just don't have that. It's already gone. You know what I mean?
You might not even have hepatitis.
That's a good thing.
We can solve that problem.
I mean, I'm okay.
Are you? Yeah, maybe you missed out on stuff, but then again, it's like, how much of that is more valuable than what you've been doing? And maybe some of that stuff was also like a shit ton of student debt.
So this also goes into like what we were talking about earlier with like being predestined. You know what I mean? Like, I could have went to Western, but I really want to go to Central, so I just didn't go to school. Like, how stupid is that? Well, how stupid is that? I mean, I'm happy that I didn't do it.
You needed to find a school right between them, and then just commute to both for parties.
That's exactly why I wanted to go to Central, and I didn't get accepted. I was like, you motherfuckers, this is gonna be fun.
Sorry,
but yeah, dumb question.
No, it's fair.
I mean, I don't know. I like to think about things like, I'm a pretty serious person, pretty serious. But yeah, no, the whole student debt thing in the United States is pretty fucked. Like we can joke around about stuff and that's fun, but there's a lot of issues that we have. And I went down a rabbit hole in my own brain when I was taking a shower. I forget where that rabbit hole went. I think it'll come up in another question.
Yeah.
Which I'll pick.
All right, here we go. Good transition.
Do you believe in true love? Yeah, I mean, it's been a long while since myself. I mean, in terms of like true love, if you're talking like relationship with like a significant other, you can go down a lot of different things, like, because there's supposedly like different stages of relationships, right? So like if you find someone and things just are great and you hit it off and everything's fucking perfect and all that, you're always gonna have like struggles and things like that. But I would say at the end of the day, like, yeah, true love is probably a thing. I mean, I don't think I've really experienced it, but
well, by that I mean like the idea of there is one person made for you.
Oh.
And likewise, you for them. Not that there won't be anyone before or else in your life.
That's a really, really, really good question.
Yeah.
Like, us as, like, animals. Animals are meant to breed, right? Like, if we're talking, like, thousands of years ago, like, hunter-gatherer type stuff, like, we need to keep the tribe alive. So there's always going to be like some stuff where like as like an animal you're gonna get attracted to something, whether it's sexual or just like mentally attracted to someone. But I also think that like there's 7 billion people in the world, so there's got to be more than just like one person. Like that's fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different people that like everything can match up the same and you work together. But that's what it comes down to, is like just working together, and you're gonna have struggles and stuff like that. I don't know, man. That's kind of like,
well, I'm not even saying this true love relationship is perfect without struggle, like this or that, but the idea of like a faded love.
so what causes love? I would ask the question, or what that's a terrible way to put it. What causes love? That makes it sound bad, but like,
Sorry, it came down with love.
no, dude, because like love is just like a state. You know what I mean? It's just a state of being. That's all it comes down to. So like the state of being in love, you can always be in that state if you choose to be in that state. You know what I mean? So like, you can choose. And again, I'm contradicting
Well, so now
myself. I'm contradicting
conflating
myself.
like the raw feeling of love with actually like being in love in
What's
a
the
relationship
difference?
with your significant
What's
other.
the difference though?
Well, no, I mean the difference is like anyone can and should be able to feel the feeling of love.
Right.
If that's just love or being in love, I think we're all capable of that. But the
That's
idea
my question
of, like,
though. What's the difference? Isn't it the same thing? If you're in this state of love and you're
well, I think you can believe in love without believing in
yeah, but is that
love.
true?
Well, no, I mean the true or fake is a bad way to phrase it. Like destined love. How about that? You know?
Like there's one specific
'Cause
person.
I'm not saying there's only one person you could love, but there's one person out there that theoretically you've loved and
I'm gonna say no, man.
No?
I'm gonna say no because
Oh, no man, no man, no man.
don't put that on
No.
me. Like don't get me wrong, man. Like because you're gonna it's love just like hate and just like grief and happiness. It's all fluid, right? So like you're gonna go in and out of relationships that are like 100% in and then something fades away, but like to get back to that 100%, if you want that one significant other and you want that lifelong friendship, then like that's something that you have to work for. And to say that there's one specific person and you got to go out and fucking fish them out, I think that's not real, because like all you got to do is just like look at their qualities and do those qualities like match up with what your qualities are. If you guys match up, you're always going to have like some downfalls and things like that. But that's just a little rough in the water, you know what I mean? Like if you want true love, and I'm no like love doctor, Mr. Mike Myers guru guy, but I don't, because I feel like you can make it work with anyone if you really freaking try, but is that true love? You know what I mean? Probably not. So like some things just need to be let go. But if it is the one things where you want to build, and I don't mean build, but like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many people that are out there that like to have that one person, and maybe it's just because I haven't experienced it yet. You know what I mean?
I think that like you're almost phrasing it a little too analytically. You know, where like
I'm analytical, dude. I'm a Virgo.
but this is the opposite. Like, it would just feel like hollow if it was just like we sat down with notepads and they're like, I need a dozen things in my lover, and whoever can tick these boxes, you're in. Like I'm in.
I get that. I
That's
get that.
all I'm looking for. Where it's like
and that's what
it's
I'm
not
saying.
a puzzle
it's fluid.
with like hard cut edges on pieces. It's like silly putty.
It's
where
fluid.
you mold the love, and it's fluid. And even true
That's what I'm
love,
trying
it's
to
not
say.
like you're never gonna like fucking disagree or hate each other. It's just the meaning like you've been here before and you're gonna do this again, and like if it was puzzle pieces, like you are the only ones that can fit each other. That's what I'm getting at. Not like this bliss.
So that's what I'm saying.
Nirvana kind of love.
What do
'cause
you
I don't
think
know if
then?
that's
Like,
possible.
do you think there is like one puzzle piece that you haven't
I
connected
kind of
yet?
do, man. I really do. Is the thing. Like I just
I think it's like exceedingly rare and like so easy to just disregard because it's too mushy and like, yeah, that's a nice romantic idea if it helps you fucking sleep at night, but no, I think it's actually true. Like getting back to like reincarnation, if I am an eternal soul, I've probably known quite a few other people that I still know in a different new and fresh context. And like, yeah, I think that like you can have these soulmate connections with your dog, your siblings, your parents, your lover.
All right,
all
all
of the
right,
above,
all right.
you
No,
know?
I see that.
And maybe this is just some beautiful mushy idea that it's nice to like sink your emotional teeth into, but then I've just like seen one or two couples in my life that it's like you like
Yeah.
it's no accident you're together.
Yeah.
Like this, it all came together for you, and I hear your stories, and there's no way you're full of shit or exaggerating, because like I viscerally feel and see what you're talking about, like through the true turmoil that like you can go through. You're always there, and I really do believe in that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man.
So
I guess I don't know.
anyway, give me my fucking wine, the one true love.
No, you're right though, because there's definitely like certain people that you'll meet at certain times, and you're like, holy fuck.
And people say it's people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and it's like you might not figure out if it's for a lifetime, for a lifetime, but it doesn't mean they won't be there. And like maybe it's not as simple as like one of three options. Some people like come in and out of your life, but like I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
man.
okay. Like you don't have to be connected to everyone forever, but I think if you feel love, you just can't help but draw it to you, and it's magnetic.
Well, that's yeah. I don't know. You're probably right on that one.
Believe in love, Andrew. Life is too short. Will we ever stop consuming meat at a large scale?
All right. First portion, will I ever stop consuming meat? No. It's fucking delicious. And we were talking about that earlier, actually, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of this, making burgers.
It's probably not gonna happen. Like, realistically, no. But if we could, and everything was organic, I mean, so what we were talking about earlier, I said, Greg, what if the government basically dished out one cow per family per year? Like, that's a lot of meat.
That's all you get, just your one
Like,
cow.
one cow, I mean, that's 330 million. Well, less than that. How many? Because that's how many people. You know what I mean? Let's break it down and figure it out.
Whole planet, dude. 8 billion cows a year. That's what we need.
Right. So the answer is no. Like, that's not going to happen. There's too much money.
You gotta break my heart like that?
Yeah, dude. It's
You
not
promise
realistic.
me a cow and then you fucking smash it away.
But yeah, man, like if there was like more like a holistic way to eat cows, like in which there is, you can go get your shit grass fed. It costs more, stuff like that. But I'm sorry, man, meat's just too good. I'm not gonna go full vegetarian.
So,
I'm
okay,
sure it's better for you, but like, so I have a buddy at work, Sal Hernandez. The guy's a monster. He's a monster in a good way. This guy's
sounds like one Sal Hernandez.
Yeah, dude. Salvador Hernandez.
I'm like already intimidated.
He's a carnivore. All he eats is meat.
God.
All he eats is meat.
Of course.
He's told me his regimen, and I was like, dude, he got me onto the regimen where like basically you just eat meat all day.
Right.
Not all day. He'll fast and then he'll have dinner and eat like a lot of fucking meat.
Right.
The guy's always in tune. He's always like sharp, ready to go.
Good for him, man.
But my aunt was telling me about this book she read about. forget the name of the book. It's like Your Food Genes or something like that. And
Okay.
basically, I forget the name of the book, but it's basically like, all right, so your family, right? Like, for example, like Polish people eat a lot of potatoes. It's not like that, like they grew up like in Poland. You eat a lot of potatoes.
Right.
It just is what it is.
What are you getting at, man?
What I'm getting at is like your genes, like where your family comes from.
Oh.
Like there was like a food culture,
Yeah.
and they got passed down through your genes. So like certain type of people can accept eating strictly carnivore meat, and some people will accept no meat. They,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like lactose intolerant people.
Yeah.
Like, well, what's the reason for that? I don't really know, but does it have something to do with like their family's diets from like the past
Right.
200 years?
Yeah. So, I think how specific populations of people digest things.
Exactly.
It is like some of it's a genetic component, but then a lot of it is also like what bacteria you have in your stomach, right?
Yeah.
Where all of that is kind of passed down throughout the generations.
I would think that it has to do with
With each-
like what they're eating though too.
No, so it does. And with lactose intolerant people, such as myself, our ancestors didn't grow up around like
Dairy.
cows.
Yeah.
There just wasn't milk and cheese.
It's probably not good that it's pasteurized.
So there
too
was
now.
there was no need to digest
Maybe
it,
it's
so
better.
the bodies never figured it out, and that's why like it's you just kind of gotta deal with the cards you're dealt. You know, I'd rather not agree with dairy than be allergic to like pets or something. So I got that going for me.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
like so I've heard a lot about like a blood type diet where like maybe your ancestors
Yeah,
were
yeah,
in a
yeah, yeah,
population that all
That's what it-
involved a
yep.
certain kind of blood because they all ate like X, Y, and Z for like the majority of their consumptions. And it makes sense to me, you know? But
Yeah.
as for meat on a large scale, I think we're never gonna lose like our taste for it, but maybe it will get to a place where it's either like very ethically raised actual animals.
You know how much
but
better it'll
then
taste
the
too?
majority is actually like synthetically produced. I think that might actually like. If
I mean, it already
humanity
is,
can, like,
dude, like
get our
chickens
shit
and shit.
together on
Chickens?
like just a
Fuck.
quality of what you're putting in your body, and also like ethically how you treat these animals, which is just garbage more often than not.
Yeah,
if we
what's
can get
that?
that together, like it doesn't. I don't see why we wouldn't embrace more like synthetic meat.
I
Because
think-
if it
I
tastes
think-
more or less the same, and it doesn't, there's no like health ramifications of like petri dish patties, then why not? Who really cares at the end of the day?
I don't know if it was you and me that were having this conversation like years and years ago, but this conversation, it's bringing back memories.
Yeah.
Like the slaughterhouse, like those animals are killed and they're killed in fear,
Mhm.
right? So everything gets tense, and
Yeah,
so it's
we
a lot
totally
more
talk
dense.
about this.
And yeah, so
Mhm.
like that density
Mhm.
and like that energy that you're eating, it gets put into you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like fear. You're eating
Kind
fear
of scary to think about. Right.
because like we are what we eat, right?
Yeah. No, on a chemical level, you're right.
'Cause
Like,
if that's
you're
dense-
flooded with terror, something's got to be going on with your
At
whole
the
body.
same time, though, dude, if you have a bunch of vegetables and it's just randomly chopped, I mean,
Like, I don't know how an animal
I'm
must
just
feel
fucking-
before it's killed, but like it can't be great.
do you think
Oh,
plants
no.
feel?
Oh, dude,
Do they?
I think that was a question in the hat that you just pulled out of reality because I
Alright.
totally fucking wrote that an hour ago.
All right.
Well, feel? Yeah, no. Plants clearly react to things. It's anyone who's grown a plant can tell you that. But it's my question was actually, do plants think? Where plants will clearly react to their environment if you introduce like a better or worse condition to it. But do they actually think? Can they make decisions about their future? Like, do I flower now or later? Or do I grow in this direction or that direction? You think plants can think?
It goes back to nature, like versus nurture, wouldn't it?
Does it? What do you mean?
Nature, like the outside forces, like trying to, like let them know, like, hey, it's time to go, or like nurture being like nurturing yourself,
Mm,
like I need to go this way.
mm.
That's my thought. I don't know.
But that's not.
I don't even
nature,
know if
bro.
that goes back to like nature versus
No,
nurture.
so do
but-
they think or not?
Are they deciding? Like,
I don't think they think.
No.
They don't think, but they definitely react to like going back to like, okay, that story about like my buddy that had like a conscience in the universe. Did he think it was all reactions? Like, and maybe he was thinking. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they think, but I think they definitely like. Look at this guy. He probably has moved closer to this orb. I feel like it's moving. We're gonna find out on camera, but I feel like it's closer.
Yeah. Maybe.
But it's attracted to that, though. You know.
He probably likes it. It tickles.
Sure does. All right, next one.
Yeah, go for it.
We got about 3 or 4. How many you got?
I've got 3.
Favorite dinosaur and why? I wasn't a big dinosaur guy, so I don't.
That's your first mistake.
Yeah, but I do have like this very distinct memory. Farley Hills, art class. Eric Lynn was super good at drawing dinosaurs.
Nice. Good for him.
And we were like 6 or 7, and he was drawing these dinosaurs, and I was just drawing Scribble Scrabble, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and he drew a T-Rex. And it was fucking killer.
All right.
And then me and Kevin got lost in like this, like they were having like a fair in the gym, like whatever the fuck. And we like missed class and shit. It's crazy that I remember the shit from first grade. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't a big T-Rex, like dinosaur guy, but I would say T-Rex.
Okay, all right.
The ones with the big wings that fucking flap around, those things are cool too.
That's the correct answer. It's pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl, yeah.
Yep.
Those things are cool.
Yep. Pterodactyl and honorable mention to Stegosaurus. Yep.
Beats me.
Brontosaurus. Dude, I'm gonna bring over my dinosaur book next time. You'll love it.
We had a book of a bunch of reptiles as a kid. Just this big fat Bible-looking book.
Right. Nice.
And yeah, going through the frogs. The frogs were cool.
Frogs are cool, dude. Hopefully they're real, unlike birds.
Damn birds.
Is America what it used to be? I mean, we really coming at us with the big ones.
In terms of like culture, I mean, I guess that's kind of a dumbass
No,
question.
but it changes every day, right?
The answer is no.
Right. No, of course not. And that's not true anywhere, though. You know?
Yeah.
Everywhere's changing.
Yeah, that was a bad question.
I think, like, in the sense of, is this still, like, the land of opportunity where you can come to
dig
better
into
your
it.
prospects for, like, you and your family and your future? Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. I really hope America still is that. But I'm not that person. I didn't come here. I was born into this, so it's really hard to say. And there's no like, as far as there's not like immigrant memories of like in my family.
Yeah, dude,
there's like no one's like back in my day when we lived wherever we were. This is how it was. Like those discussions don't happen. So it's like. I don't have much context.
I guess my
America
question should have been
where our people came from.
Like, have we ever been this divided? Like, there's no reason. Like,
right.
I've got a lot of Republican and Democratic friends and people in the middle that really just don't care. And it's like there's such a divide that it makes no sense because at the end of the day, everyone just wants to like have a good job, whether you're Democratic or Republican, have good health care, have good education. And like genuinely believe in like the system.
Yeah.
Or like if you don't want to believe in that, then you don't.
Yeah. No, we mostly want the same things, but then it's like social media is making it a lot worse.
Yeah,
people
it is.
really attacking each other like they
For no
wouldn't
reason
used
too.
to.
For no reason.
Well, not for no reasons, but for like continually smaller and smaller reasons.
And what's upsetting is that like when you're behind the keyboard and you're that keyboard warrior going off. Like, how am I trying to say this? Like, that one person, do they really have that much of a say of what the hell goes on that's way above the average person? Like an individual really does not have any fucking say in what goes on. What happens is like when it's a big group and you get a group of people with whichever group it may be, left, right, in the middle, that's when like a movement can get made. And that's why like this whole police brutality thing, like they're making changes in Florida, stuff like that. But like an individual just blurting stuff, it does that
like shouting into the void.
Yeah, you're just shouting into a void just to like have your ego shown that you believe in something.
Right.
And it comes across 9 times out of 10 the wrong way. Because like that group that you're a part of or not even a part of, you know what I'm saying? Like get involved with like an actual thing, which I'm not really involved with any of it, but like that's just my thoughts. That's why I don't like just go out and like show my thoughts all the time.
Right.
On like comments and stuff like that, because it really doesn't do any good. You're just dividing more. Like talk about the things that bring us together.
Yeah. Preach it, man.
I don't know. That's my thoughts. Is that you? Or mine?
I think that's you now.
Damn, another one. So, what do you think defines success? That's a broad ass.
Like
a lot of people have different thoughts on what that may be.
I mean, I guess the easiest way to say it would be like reaching a goal you have, in like a general sense.
That's the best
or
answer,
like just being happy with where you're at progressing, you know?
100%.
Because like it's one of those things like you reach goals and then you have bigger ones where you have to reach farther to achieve them, and it's always that. Like, isn't it? Is life anything else other than like the progression of like doing bigger and bigger things? And
kind of like
I don't know if there's too few moments where you're like graduating or getting married where it's like you can point to success and be like, yes, like that was a big day in my history. Most of it's just incrementally, like little by little, getting better and better, and then success is
it's kind of like being enlightened.
It's
kind of like being enlightened, right? Like it's always something you're working
and
towards.
As soon as you're successful, you want something more. So it's almost consistently irrelevant how successful you are, because as soon as you have this, you want the next layer on top of it.
And this isn't even like a materialistic thing. Like a lot of people think that success is like having the big house and the big car and the big thing. But like to me, success is you fucking hit the nail on the head. Like it doesn't matter what your thing is, as long as like you're hitting that and you're like, I was successful, I hit this. This was the thing that I was going for.
And just being happy with where you are.
100%, yeah.
Because even reaching a goal, that's a beautiful moment. But then it's all the journey, you know. Just crossing the finish line is such a brief blip in the path to get there, where you have to feel like you're already successful because you're enjoying the journey. Like that's success. Just being happy with the path is success.
And it's never gonna end. You see all those memes all the time about like it's not the end point, it's the journey or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like
it sounds like one of those motivational memes, but like there's real wisdom to that.
It's all about those little wins that you get, and you're going to have shortfalls, and those are like the obstacles that you have to overcome to like learn a lesson, kind of like we were talking about earlier about like, all right, if we are really predestined and we're here for a thing, then like that thing is someone we have to overcome. It's just a more condensed thing of like, how can we be successful in whatever the venture is, whether it's family life, relationships, business, or career, or whatever you want.
Right.
Like success isn't about having a ton of money. It's about hitting your goals and feeling happy about it. And understanding that like those goals that you're going to hit, there's a journey to that goal. And once you hit that marker, you look back and you're like, dang, I had to go through all this to get this. Whether it's whatever it is.
That's the beauty of it.
Like, for example, with you walking all the way to Oregon, that probably felt like, in terms of like a spiritual high, probably a really good spiritual high, because you did something that you set your mind to, that was a goal for you to do, and you were successful at it because you walked and hitchhiked all the way there.
Right. Yeah, in a sense, but then once again,
Like, would you consider yourself a successful hitchhiker? I would consider you that.
yeah, but like, that's actually
To
a pretty
you,
good
it's not a
example
big deal.
because
To you, it's not a big deal, though. That's the thing.
well, it's a big deal considering the context of like once upon a time I wanted to go to so many of the places I've now been, but once again, like as soon as you've been to a physical place, like traveling, or you've accomplished something, you just want more and more. It's just one of those things like
It's a rabbit hole.
you can see a lot of what you want to see, but the world is just so big, and you could spend a lifetime and barely scratch the surface. And like that's the beauty of it because you're never gonna run out of stuff to see and people to talk to. But yeah, and like it's you have to be happy with the journey because like yeah, like that moment of actually like seeing the ocean and being like this is as far west as I can get. Hell yeah. That's beautiful. Like I look back on that, but then it's like far more often I think about everything that happened in between.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
that was the meat and bones of the journey. And it's like
Yes.
if I wasn't happy
100%.
in the middle of it, the beginning or end is irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all of it.
That's the whole point of like the journey, because if you if you forget those things and you get to that point to like you got it and you forget those things, your next journey, if you forgot those things, you're not gonna remember the lessons towards the next progression. You know what I'm saying? Like for you going from Michigan to Oregon, there's a lot of lessons you learned in terms of like hitchhiking and what to do, what not to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, certainly.
So like let's say you did it again, but you completely forgot about all that stuff. Would you be more or less successful at doing it a second time if you forgot about all that stuff? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if anything, less because
Exactly.
you're not learning what you need to.
So like
You know?
what you mentioned about like once you get to that finish line, those things that you experience, you remember those more than the beginning or end.
Yeah.
It's because those things are those things that fucking stuck out, and you remember this is what it is. I'm going through it. So like the whole thing of success, it's whatever you want it to be, but don't forget the journey.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Amen, dude.
I don't know.